Okay, good morning, everyone. It's 8 o'clock and I'm calling the March 12th Finance Committee meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Member Cahill, Member Chaplin,
Here.
Member Childress, Member Covert,
Here.
Member Desart, Member Eckhoff, Member Evans, Member Galassi, Member Garcia,
Here.
Member Guston, Member Krajewski, Member LaPlante, Member Ozag, Member Rutledge, Member Schwarzy, Member Tornatori, Member Yu,
Here.
Member Zay.
Okay, we have a quorum. Do we have any public comment this morning? No public comment. Okay, great. Under chair remarks, I'd just like to mention that those little wooden nameplates by your desks, those were made by our talented facilities, has little keepsakes for you. They were made from the back of our old background here. So that was really nice of them, really kind of them. So just thought I'd throw that in there. So can I have a motion on 24/8/22 Finance Committee regular
Second.
meeting minutes from Tuesday, February 27? A motion by Patty Guston, motion by Member Cahill, second by Patty Guston. Any comments or questions on the minutes? Okay, all in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. We move on to budget transfers. Can I have a motion on 24/08/65 transfer of funds from other contractual expenses to IT equipment in the amount of 100,000 to realign ARPA 2024 for replacement of backup appliance and annual maintenance of support of various network software and information technology. Said motion by Member Guston, second by Member Yu. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. Can I have a motion on 24/8/87 budget transfers from 3/12/2024 from various companies and accounting units? Have a motion by Member Covert, second by Member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. We move on to procurement, and I'll call Member Krajewski for
Thank you,
finance.
Madam Chair, I move on 24-0914, decrease issued to HCM for 115,000.
Motion by Member Krajewski, second by Member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Member Krajewski?
I move on FICO 0008-24. Now we're increasing to HCM for 150,000. Was it just moving it to some other area? It's one for one to other. Okay.
I had a motion by Member Krajewski. Do I have a second? Second by Member Guston. Any other discussion? Valerie, did you want to come up? Okay. Hi, Chris and Valerie.
Actually, it was moving from one product line to the next. So it's the same budget code, but we had it in managed payroll and now we're moving it back to SAS. So it should have been in SAS originally.
Okay. So who put it in the wrong one to begin with?
It was two purchase orders that we crafted. So we realized it just now.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Member Krajewski?
Last, I move on FIP 0005-24, recommendation approval of the contract purchase order to Marsh McClendon for amount not to exceed 200,000. This will be the first and final renewal.
I have a motion by Member Krajewski, second by Member Guston. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Member Krajewski. We move on to Human Services. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll move on item HSP 1524, awarding resolution issued to Comcast Cable Communications Management LLC, doing business as Effect TV to provide a Call 211 of DuPage local advertising campaign for community awareness from March 12th, 24 through June 30th of 24 for a contract total amount not to exceed $130,000.
Motion by Member Schwarzy, second by Member Guston. Any discussion? Member Zay?
Yeah, can we get an explanation on this? It's a lot of money for 3 months.
Good morning, Mary.
Was this bid out? Was this with other? I mean, I don't have Comcast, so.
Yes, this was bid out. I don't know if Valerie wants to talk about the specifics of the bidding process. We were provided funding from the state directly for marketing of 211. Trying to turn the volume down, specifically for the marketing, and we were given an extremely short time frame in which to spend the money. So these are state funds specifically for this purpose, specifically for this time frame.
Oh, so it had to be done within a certain time
Yep.
frame or less money.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. Do you have any questions about the bidding process?
No, that's
For
fine.
purchase.
It
Okay.
it was bid out. That's all.
Yep.
It was bid. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Member Schwarzy.
Thank you. I move on HSR 1024, authorizing execution of intergovernmental agreement between Pace Suburban Bus and DuPage County Community Services for paratransit service in the amount of $657,200.
Motion
Yes.
by member Schwarzy, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? Member Desart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Could somebody please refresh on this? Didn't we just approve this contract between the Pace Bus service and the paratransit service? I tried to look, was it 2 weeks ago or maybe 3 meetings ago that it seems like we just approved this? Thank
have-
you.
We have a couple of different contracts with Pace because we have different funding sources. Off the top of my head, I don't recall if we just brought one, but, the one that we brought was just for Willowbrook Corners, I think, wasn't it? We also have a contract with Pace specifically for senior services. The Veterans Assistance Commission has a contract specifically with Pace, or IGA, I should say. So we have multiple agreements with Pace. So if there was one on recently, it would have been for a different funding source and a different service.
Okay, thank you for the clarification, Mary. Appreciate it.
Okay, member Krajewski.
Do townships have the agreements with Pace?
Yeah, so this agreement is specifically for the rides that we fund. We fund rides for two purposes. We have a program called the Transportation to Work Program, where we work with 5 agencies that work with
But
individuals.
Pace- But townships do this.
Townships do this as well.
Is it
They're,
something we could look into to look at maybe having the townships administer these programs? I know Ray Feck, our old CFO, when he said he was in Will County, one of the things that he suggested was moving stuff down to the township, some of these grants that we have. So they're a little more efficient being down with closer to the people, but something to look into in the future where some of these programs could be administered at a lower level.
Well, I think that would be up to the HHS committee, maybe, or Mary, what?
That was just
your
a
recommend-
suggestion.
Yeah,
we can certainly discuss it at Human Services. All of these services are operated under the Ride DuPage umbrella. So Pace actually manages all of these programs. We're just paying specifically for the trips.
I understand that. You know, down in my town, I got the village of Downers Grove doing dial rides. I got the township of Downers Grove doing the same thing and the county doing the same thing. All three providing rides. It seems like we could maybe coordinate where one entity does it, maybe much more efficiently.
okay, okay. Thank you, Mary. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. Thank you, member Schwarzy. We move on to judicial public safety and member Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move on item JPSR 0006-24, authorization to purchase one vehicle for the Children's Center of the DuPage County State's Attorney's Office, contract amount not to exceed $45,000.
Have a motion by member Evans, a second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, the motion carries. Thank you, member Evans. We move on to Public Works and member Garcia.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to make a motion to approve FMP 001024, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Census Corporation #2 to provide and deliver employee uniforms as needed for facilities management for the period of March 13th, 2024 through March 12th, 2025 for a total contract amount not to exceed $50,000.
Have a motion by member Garcia, a second by member Yu. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve FMP 001124, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Hay and Associates, Inc. for natural areas management, which includes controlled burning and weeding of the native gardens in the county campus for facilities management for the period of March 12th, 2024 through March 11th, 2025 for a total contract amount not to exceed $36,500.
Motion by member Garcia, second by member Rutledge. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve FMP 001224, recommendation for the approval of a contract to A&P Grease Trappers, Inc. for sanitary grease trap and storm basin pumping, jetting, and cleaning as needed for the county campus for facilities management for the period of April 14th, 2024 through April 13th, 2025, for a total contract amount not to exceed $82,750.
I have a motion by member Garcia, a second by member Ozog. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve FMR 0000124, a resolution to approve a notice of intent to participate in the coalition by Kane County, Illinois for the Climate Pollution Reduction Grant Implementation Application and Program.
Have a motion by member Garcia, a second by member Desart. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve PWCO 000224, amendment to county contract 65710001 serve issued to Fox Valley Fire and Safety Company, Inc. to repair the fire alarm system and notifier panel at the Woodridge Green Valley wastewater treatment plant for Public Works for a change order to increase the contract in the amount of $20,000, resulting in amended contract amount not to exceed $93,250.
Motion by member Garcia, second by member Yu. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve PWP 000624, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Sheffield Safety and Loss Control LLC for a safety program manager services for the period of April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2025, for a total contract amount not to exceed $100,000.
Motion by member Garcia, second by member Desart. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve PWP 000724, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Alpha Laval, Inc. to provide repair parts for the Ashbrook gravity belt thickeners and belt presses at the Woodridge Green Valley wastewater treatment plant and Knollwood wastewater treatment plant for Public Works for the period of May 1st, 2024 to April 28th, 2028, for a total contract amount not to exceed $80,000.
Have a motion by member Garcia, a second by member Yu. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Garcia.
I would like to make a motion to approve PWR 00224, a declaration of the Highland Hills Sanitary District property as surplus real estate.
Motion by member Garcia, second by member Yu. Member Rutledge, are you seeking?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm just curious what happens to this property now that we've deemed it surplus real estate. Is it
Okay. Morning, Nick.
sold? Is it going to be?
Yeah, once we declare a piece of property, especially this one, we're gonna put it on the open market. And then we've already have an appraisal of it, so we know kind of the floor price, and we'll put it on open market and sell it to the highest bidder.
How big is the parcel?
It's fairly small. It's I think a little bit over half an acre.
Okay. yeah, I
It
looked at
has
the map,
an
couldn't
older
tell.
building on it right now, so we're gonna sell it as is.
Well, and the location is prime.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, member Garcia. We move on to stormwater. Member Zay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move on to SMP 624, contract issued to Wang Engineering for on-call geotechnical and engineering services, the amount not to exceed $40,000.
Motion by member Zay, second by member Desart. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, member Zay. We move on to technology and member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on to EP 624, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Toshiba Business Solutions for multifunctional device equipment, supplies, software, and service solutions for all county departments for the period of April 1, 2024 through March 31, 2029, for contract total amount not to exceed $1.5 million.
Have a motion by member Yu, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Yu.
Thank you. I move on to EP 7-24, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Insight Public Sector for the replacement of backup appliances and annual maintenance in support of Veritas Net Backup Software for IT for the period of April 1, 2024 through March 31, 2026, for a contract total amount of $374,718.84.
Have a motion by member Yu, second by member Guston. Member Zay, you're seeking recognition?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mhm.
You know, I'm gonna keep harping at this for years and years. It seems like we either buy all our IT stuff from Insight Public Sector or CDW. We use the the joint purchasing contract. We don't go out and seek other bids just to make sure that our IT equipment, we are getting the lowest responsible bid. I mean, I've been saying this for years. I don't understand why we can't go out and have somebody else take a look at a local company or something, or anybody else. There's a million different IT companies throughout DuPage and in Illinois.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Good morning, Anthony. Oh, is it going on?
Okay, sorry. Good morning, members. You're absolutely correct. We tried to look at other companies, and through this process, we actually did kind of a mini assessment process. So we took a look at other companies. We looked at the pricing for those other companies and compared it to what Insight provided us, and it was very competitive. So, and sometime in the future, it may make sense. This technology, the technology we currently have in place, the backup technology, is coming end of life. So we're trying to get in front of it, replace it with a newer system. It's the same system, just a newer version of it.
Okay, thank you. But again, when you buy IT, I mean, certain companies are with HP or with whatever, and if you say, well, I'm going with this person, they get select pricing from those. I mean, again, I'd like to see that information. I mean, if you said you did a mini thing, it wouldn't be too hard to say, we checked X, Y, and Z companies, and this was their bid for this same equipment that we're looking at, same
We
package.
can do that.
Okay.
We can pull
Thank you.
that together for you.
Okay, thank you, members. A member Gajewski?
Yeah, I had something similar a few weeks ago, but I think we should get that information in if we're not going out for bid, that we do an assessment or at least did something so we can see that. Cause I know I just ran into this issue before where they said, well, we kind of called and we got some number, but they didn't go out for an RFP, but yet, you know, they did do some analysis, but we don't see that. So maybe they could write that up or something.
Yeah, we can. And we'll do that. And going forward, even if we decide to use an existing contract, we'll do an assessment and then.
Cause this
provide
one,
you
it
with
sounds like you
information.
did an assessment. You didn't do an RFP, you didn't go out.
We didn't go out. We did our own
But
internal
you-
assessment. You're right.
Your own
Analysis.
internal assessment where somebody makes a phone call to someone and gets a sort of a pricing. I mean, I think you kind of get a better bid when it is an RFP versus just a cold call or assessment that if we do go out for bid.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll definitely look at it in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, member Gajewski. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, member Yu.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Anthony.
We move on to transportation and member Ozag.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for approval of 240815, amendment to resolution DTR 0178821, intergovernmental agreement between the County of DuPage and the Village of Lisle for improvements along County Highway 3 Warrenville Road and the replacement of the bridge over the east branch of the DuPage River to correct a Scribner's error, county to be reimbursed $414,238.
Motion by member Ozag, second by member Guston, and I have member Rutledge seeking recognition. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
thank you, Chair. Just curious, and I realize this is a Scrivener's error, but this issue, this bridge replacement seems to be coming up on our agenda for like months now. So I just would mind a explanation about why we keep seeing this one come up.
So Bill, if you'll tie
Yeah,
this all
good morning,
together.
Bill.
Good morning. What's that? Oh,
Just ignore him.
I thought his microphone was on. So the bridge replacement, we have a couple bridges right now that we're working on replacement. This one in particular, Warrenville. There's a number of different elements to the overall project that each of which need separate board action. And so, you know, ideally we'd come to you with a list of 5 all at one time. But because of there's IDOT funding involved, in this case, there's an agreement with Lisle that was required in order to get some right-of-way issues resolved. So we had to get the agreement with Lisle signed first, then we resolve the right-of-way, then we get the IDOT agreement. So everything had to fall in order. In this case, obviously now we're following up with the Scrivener's error adjustment.
Sure. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate the explanation.
Okay, any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Ozag?
No pun intended, but there's lots of moving parts in the transportation department.
That was bad, sorry. I move for approval of DTP 001524, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to A1 Warren Oil Company to furnish and deliver gasoline and diesel fuel as needed for the Division of Transportation and Public Works for the period April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025, for a contract total not to exceed $1,750,000 per renewal option, first of 3 awards.
Motion by member Ozak, second by member Garcia. I see member Krajewski. Go ahead, please.
Do we look at our townships to see if they want to participate in the program like they do for the salt when we buy in bulk?
Come on down, Bill.
I know they got on with us a few years ago with regards to the salt purchases. And were able to save themselves a lot of money because of our ability to negotiate a better deal.
Right, right. I don't know specifically about this one. I know that in the past, we had made, an effort on all the different contracts. Valerie, do you?
So we did include our municipalities, townships on this contract with us.
You did include them on here?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay.
Do we know which ones took advantage of it already? Put that in there, but-
I can get you the list. I'm
Okay.
not- I know we did everyone.
Yeah,
we went
no, that'd
through-
be helpful, and I'd like to see which ones participate and which ones in my district are not.
Yeah.
I would definitely get you the list.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, member Krajewski. Member Guston?
A real simple question. So obviously we're buying it in bulk, so we should get more, a lower price than $3.50 a gallon. I'm hopeful, except for diesel. Diesel will be higher, but is
So
that?
that's based off
is that
of the
goal?
pricing for the day.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we
day pricing.
have a increase from that amount.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
And actually, we have one of the best in the area.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
Save them a lot of money, so I mean. it's great-
Correct. So we
it's
did
great.
allow this as well. We renewed the contract. They will continue with the same rate we have.
No, that's great, and it's good for them, the townships and stuff. I just want to see if mine down by my area are participating, so I'll make a phone call.
We'll definitely get you that list.
Thank you, thank you.
And if you could forward that to all of the board members so we can all have a look at what
Of
townships are
course.
participating, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, member Krajewski, member Ozak. And then member Guston, you had a follow-up?
Yeah, just follow up on the salt. I know we had a lot of excess salt, so we're not over buying or anything I mean, not we, the county, I apologize,
We
but
used a lot.
other
February.
municipalities and communities have overabundance of salt. And I know we're all in a contract together. So has that been adjusted at all?
So our contract allows us to purchase at the contract price. We set a target quantity, and then we can purchase as little as 80% of that, or as much as I think it's 120 or 125% of that quantity at that price. So the 80% gets us to the point where normally we fill our domes at the end of the season. So there's always a risk when you have a light snow year that we'll end up with a little extra. We are very good. My team is very good, and historically going back at making sure that they get the right amount of salt and that they have space to store any excess. And then next year we'll adjust our purchase amount based on what we have in the domes.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Valerie. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Ozak?
Okay, I move for approval of DTP 001624, recommendation for the approval of contract to Standard Equipment Company to furnish and deliver one 2024 International HV 607 Vector chassis with 2100i sewer cleaner for the Division of Transportation for the period March 5th, 2024 to November 30th, 2024 for a contract total not to exceed $599,660, contract pursuant to Intergovernmental Cooperation Act.
Have a motion by member Ozak, a second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Ozak?
I move for approval of DTP 001724, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Stanley Consultants Incorporated to provide professional construction engineering services for County Highway 3 Warrenville Road over the East Branch of the DuPage River for the Division of Transportation for the period March 12th, 2024 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $801,990. Professional services vetted through a qualification-based selection process.
Motion by member Ozak, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Member Ozak?
Thank you. I move for approval of DTP 001824, recommendation for the approval of a contract to HDR Engineering Incorporated for professional concept development engineering services for the County Highway 11 Army Trail Road at Munger intersection improvements for the period of March 12th, 2024 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $171,926.78. Professional services vetted through a qualification-based selection process.
I have a motion by member Ozak, second by member Zay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Ozak.
Thank you. I move for approval of DTR 001224, joint funding agreement for construction work between the County of DuPage and the Illinois Department of Transportation for County Highway 3 Warrenville Road over the East Branch of the DuPage River. Estimated county cost, $1,507,432 and no cents. Member Rutledge.
Motion by member Ozak, second by member Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, member Ozak.
Thank you.
We move on to finance resolutions. Member Krajewski?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on FIR 0052-24. Additional appropriation for the sale and air interest fund, $15,047.
Motion by member Krajewski, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. Member
Thank you,
Krajewski?
Madam Chair. I move on FIR 0053-24. Additional appropriation for the ARPA fund in the amount of $500,000.
Motion by member Krajewski, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. Member Krajewski?
Madam Chair, I move on FIR 0054-24, approval of additional funding for the local food pantry infrastructure investment program in the amount of $500,000, ARPA interest.
Motion by member Krajewski, second by member Schwarzy. Any discussion? Member Desar?
Yeah, this is really important. So I think that I just wanted to underscore that the portal opens March 15th and closes May 15th. And I hope we do a lot of good marketing to our townships and everybody else involved to spend this money. I think it's just, I wanted to underscore how important it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion or, okay. And thank you, member Schwarzy too, for your work on this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Member Krajewski?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Last, I move on FIR 0051-24, approval of the second amendment to the grant agreement between the County of DuPage and the Northern Illinois Food Bank for the use of ARPA funds.
Motion by member Krajewski, second by member Guston. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. We move on to informational, and I'll call member Krajewski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to receive and place on file informational items, A, payment of claims, B, wire transfers.
Have a motion by member Krajewski, second by member Zay to receive and place on file items A and B under informational. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, member Krajewski. Now we move on to our presentation. We have our Mission Square 457 plan update, and we'll have Vince Allegra and Ray Fortin from Mission Scope. So good morning, Vince. Welcome.
Thank you, Mrs. Chairwoman. Thank you, Board. It's a great opportunity to be here today for our annual update on the county's 457 deferred comp retirement plan. My name is Vince Allegra. I'm a managing director at Creative Planning. First, an update on my end. On October 1st, Mesro Financial engaged in a purchase agreement selling the retirement business to Creative Planning. We are now at Creative a $300 billion RIA, which makes us the largest, fastest growing RIA in the United States. That will bring certain opportunities for the county. We are able to get better pricing, both at the record keeper level and at the investment level. So that one of the projects for 2024 is utilizing some of the pricing levers that Creative can bring to the county to further reduce fees and improve the deferred comp.
Okay, and I think we're just trying to bring the presentation up. It's on the Zoom. Okay, yeah, that might be helpful. Just so we can kind of see what's going on. Oh, there we go. We got it up. Okay. Okay, there you go. Now we're all ready. Thank you.
I can kick things off with our 2023 annual update. I guess it can be summarized in one statement, what a difference a year makes. So we'll talk about the phenomenal performance of 2023, awfully different from our last update after a very difficult 2022. But on the top right of this page, first, we're going to look at the allocation of where the money is invested within the 457 program. By far, the largest holding at about 55% of plan assets are in the target date funds. Those are asset allocation models where employees select the year they'd like to retire, and it is professionally managed to that retirement date. The second largest holding at about 20% is the stable value fund. That is the money market cash alternative. I highlight these two because at 75% of plan assets, that was the conversion strategy from 5 years ago when we consolidated the 457 program from the prior 4 vendors to the one program at Mission Square. So here we are 5 years later, and about 75% of 457 plan assets remain in the transition strategy, which were target date funds and the stable value. Any other investments, so the other 25%, those are where county employees have proactively gone in and selected their investments. So when we look at the remaining investments in the plan, by far the largest holding at just under $10 million is the Fidelity 500 Index Fund. That is the lowest cost investment in the retirement plan, with fees of 0.015, 1.5 basis points, or as close to zero cost as you can actually get in the investment world. So when we look at the lineup, you can see a very large concentration at over 85% of plan assets really in those top 3 holdings. The other 15% really diversified in everything else. As we scroll down, actually to the next page, this is the investment lineup. There was one legacy fund that was on watch for an extended period of time. I am happy to report that fund was replaced in 2023 and is no longer part of the investment program. We do have one fund on watch. It is represented in the bottom right, the red color, Janus Henderson Triton, our small cap growth option. It does have less than 1% of total plan assets. It is on watch 2 of the last 3 quarters. But I will say that it is still up almost 15% for 2023. The number one reason why this fund underperformed a little bit expectations, it requires any portfolio investment, that company must be profitable. And requiring positive earnings was actually the largest negative impact to performance last year, given that a lot of the companies that rallied in 2023 did not have earnings. They were a lot of technology, a lot of biotech companies. So in that small cap growth universe last year, it was really a rally of unprofitable companies, which Janus Henderson did not quite own. The next slide, we do have the nothing on watch within our fixed income or our target date funds. And if we could move to the executive summary, I think one more slide, please. We can see now up that one. Excuse me, back one, please.
Okay. Back one.
There we go. So now we look at the 2 years of history, looking at the quarterly data. The only fund on watch is the Janus Henderson. It is 2 of the last 3 quarters, but we feel very confident this is a fund that will not spend much time on the watch list. The rest of the investments within the plan have performed extremely well, which we'll cover here shortly. If we can move to the next page, actually, next one, please. This is looking at the performance. This is every investment within the 457 program. I am happy to report when you look at the year-to-date numbers, not only are 100% of the investments positive, about 17 of them had performance greater than 15%, and over 80% outperformed both their benchmark and peer group. So when we scroll and we look at all of the available investments within the county's deferred comp program, and we can kind of scroll to the next page, really across the board, even our one fund on watch, still up almost 15% for the year. The investment lineup is doing exceptionally well. If I can move one more slide, please. One more, please. We get into the target date funds. One more, please. One more slide. We'll focus here. So for county employees that do not want to manage their deferred comp program investments, they could pick one of the BlackRock target date funds. This is, as I mentioned, the largest holding in the plan with over around 55% of plan assets. And as you look at the year-to-date column, these investments, which are professionally managed asset allocation models, perform quite well. In many cases up 18, 19, 20+% last year. Also highlighting all the way to the right, the last column, the net expense ratio. The fees of these investments are extremely low. All-in expenses at 0.09% or 9 basis points, making them one of the lowest cost target date funds in the entire universe. Our target dates were actually reaffirmed as a gold rating by Morningstar, one of only 4 out of 80 in the Morningstar database. So our target date funds as the largest holding continue to be exceptional performers at extremely low fees. I would also like to highlight, again, 5 years ago when we did consolidate, the investment fees and administrative fees for this program were reduced by about 70%. From right around 1% to today, the fees all in are less than 0.3. One thing I think we'll talk about is an opportunity, especially as Ray presents next from Mission Square. We have focused on trying to get more people into the program, and we'll see that we have had success in getting more county employees to enroll. Another area that I think is an opportunity is upon retirement. The term, the silver tsunami is here. We have over 10,000 baby boomers a day turning 65. As they retire, in most cases, they are taking their balance out of the 457 program. That is leading as an industry to more money coming out of 457 programs than coming in as these boomers with the larger account balances are retiring. And they're being replaced with younger employees that are starting with zero balances. So that is leading to challenges from a plan perspective, and the county's plan is not immune. So we'll talk about that in more detail. And then I would wrap up with my prepared remarks, really thanking the board 5 years ago when you were an innovator in leading the consolidation of your multi-vendors in your program. In the 5 years since, there's been over half a dozen municipalities within the county that have also followed your lead and either issued RFPs or RFQs to consolidate their 457 programs. So I think you did a great job by leading by example and really showing the value of this program, especially a single vendor focused on fees and good performance. So.
Great, thank you. Do we have questions, Member Krajewski?
Thank you, Vince, for the presentation. Do we allow 457 Roths?
We do.
Can we get a breakout of how much goes into Roth and how much, I don't need it now, but goes into Roth and how much goes into regular at 457?
Yes, we would.
And then I assume we allow other plan transfers into there?
We do.
I would just like to know how much transfers employees have brought in, because I'm not sure how we educate them, if they can bring their own old 401k or for some another place, they can roll it into here. I assume because the funds are doing very well, now that we have you guys doing a good professional job, I think, the ability for the staff to be able to roll a prior employer somewhere else, one over here, get them all under this umbrella, one, bring more money in, but it's also, you're doing quite well. I saw the target funds doing real, I assume those percentages are the percentile.
Percentile.
Okay, it went kind of fast. I noticed the 10-year history were pretty good on those other funds. It looked like recently they weren't as good, but the target funds are clearly in the top decile, I think. for that. But yeah, I just like to see that. And then maybe we could work with our HR about just more trying to educate the employees about the ability to roll other ones over. I mean, I find sometimes my own lines, they come in a new plan, they got 6 plans from 6 different employers, especially now where people don't stay at the same place a long time. And they have a 401k over here or 457 over there. And to get it all under one umbrella, it's easier to keep an eye on what's going on. And also we have a good lineup of funds. So thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Member Krajewski. Member Evans?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would also like to thank you for all the work you've put into this. And I echo Member Krajewski's comments about maybe educating us, not only at the county board, but the employees, because, you know, I've been too lazy to follow up on it, but I am locked out of my 457 account. Like I was trying to open my account and it was like sending me all these emails saying I'm locked out now and I had to wait 2 weeks and I had to wait for a letter. The letter's sitting in my mailbox, but I'm just saying that it's a little bit, what's that? Well, that's fine, but I want it. But number one, opening an account, just trying to log into the portal can be really cumbersome. And figuring out that we do have, you know, how to figure out how to put the money into a Roth 457 versus just the regular one. I just think it's a little complicated and it's hard to navigate for me. I'm 51 and just think about a 22-year-old coming into the county for the very first time. When I first started here, we would have these fairs where you'd have to look at all the tables and try to figure out which company you even had to go with. We didn't know anything about it. So we're trying to consolidate. It's a great first step, consolidating, but trying to make sure that we know how to open our accounts, how to log in, and what options are available. I think there's a disconnect between what we offer and what the employees know that we offer.
Thank you, Member Evans. Any other questions? I just have a question, if that's okay. It is okay because I'm the chair. So you talked about the the 65 and plus leaving the plan, and it's a problem throughout probably the industry. So what is your, how do you plan to address that to have these older people keep part of their money in the plan? Have you thought about that at all? Or because it can be very problematic.
It is.
Yeah.
A shrinking plan that does not give us the ability to renegotiate lower pricing, especially as the plan hopefully grows over time. So these are all wonderful questions, and I actually do not want to steal Ray's thunder from Mission Square because Ray will be answering all of these. But I think it all revolves around education and communication. County employees really getting the right message of what a great vehicle they have while they're working here and accumulating, but also once you retire, you don't need to leave. This is a great program. Most of your employees could not go to the market, open an IRA on their own and get institutional pricing where they're getting today at almost $100 million institutionally priced retirement plan. So communicating that message that upon retirement, you actually have a phenomenal low-priced vehicle here. You do not need to leave. So with that, I think Ray can answer actually a lot of these.
Come on up, Ray.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us from Mission Square as well. This is my 4th meeting with you, so it's good to see everybody. I'm going to give you the same 2023 update, but from a different eyesight, a different lens, a different perspective, more around your employee base and what they're doing in the plan and how we can help them and get them to where they want to be from a retirement perspective. So if you would just move ahead a few pages, please. You can keep going. You can keep. Next page, please. So as of the end of 2023, little just shy of $82 million are in the plan, and we record keep for little over 1,300 employees for the county. If you could just go up a little, there's the down there, and the average participant balance of the plan is just shy of $62,000. I bring this up because this is kind of a benchmark we look at from an industry report card on how well your employees are doing saving for retirement. And $62,000, I'm not saying $62,000 is a balance that people can live on in retirement, but by no means. But if you look at your balance, you compare it to the private sector. The private sector average account balances for these types of plans, 401k plans, is about $100,000. So you're below where the private sector is on an average basis. But what the private sector doesn't have that the public sector does is the pensions or the defined benefit plan. So when you incorporate those dollars into what the individuals are doing, saving for retirement within the defined contribution plan, your employees are better off than the private sector. That's a recruiting tool for you within the public sector to use for getting your employees or getting employees in and retaining those employees. Next slide, please. To break out where your employees are, you have currently 683 individuals that are actively contributing into the plan, representing $38 million. The other piece I want to show you is at the bottom there. There's 525 individuals with $36 million, almost 50% of the balance, that are separated from service. So this goes into the conversation you started with Vince, and you'll see the same theme with my slides as we continue. It's a mature plan. You have a lot of individuals that have retired, separated from service, but you can see are retaining their dollars for the most part in this plan. Next slide, please. So this chart is going back for the last 5 years. I'll call it the aqua blue is the active employee numbers. The navy blue is the separated from service. And the numbers, if you can go a little higher, it'll show you the numbers of individuals active versus separated, and how those numbers, we started in 2019 with 620, 686 as of 2023. But you can also see the separated from service numbers have grown as well. Started with 414, and at the end of last year, 525. So you can see how, again, a mature workforce. Next slide, we'll even show that a little bit more. The pie chart on the left is the asset allocation by age group. The age bands are on the bottom there. The magenta on the left-hand side represents the 60 to 69-year-old. 30%, $25 million, 288 people. On the right-hand side, that navy blue number is the 50 to 59-year-old age band. $27 million, 388 people. You put those together, that's 64% of your population in the plan, both active and separated from service, that represent the plan as a whole. So you can see it's a mature plan. You are not unique. Our other plans in the state and nationwide, the plans I'm personally responsible for, you are right in line with being a mature plan with the majority of individuals in terms of numbers of employees and separated from service and assets are in this age band, 50 and older. The bar chart on the right is the asset allocation. I'm not going to belabor this. Vince already talked about the utilization of the target date funds, and that's what we want to see, is the individuals use those funds because of their diversification and their asset allocation strategy. And again, 50%, 56, 57% of the assets are there. Next slide. Participant asset allocation, the bar chart on the left. Again, this just shows, if you can go a little higher, the age bands again. The tallest one there is the 50 to 59. The one to the right of it is the 60 to 69. And the one the furthest to the right is those older than the age 69. And so you can see those three bar groups right there are the majority of the individuals and again, the assets. The set of bar charts to the right just shows the asset allocation, again, amongst those age groups. And you can see the navy blue color, that's again, the target date funds. Next slide, please. So when we look at the plan, and here's another way to look at it, this is the cash flow of the assets coming into the plan over the last 4 years. The magenta color on the top, those are contributions for each of the respective years. The navy blue on the bottom, those are the distributions, money coming out. So you can see you're at a negative cash flow. You're not a business, so negative cash flow is not necessarily bad for a retirement plan. Individuals are here working, saving for the retirement for the time when they leave, they're going to start taking distributions out to live their lives. And so that's what we're seeing. Again, because of that mature workforce, the preponderance of individuals 60 and older that are separated from service, they've saved their entire careers, they're taking money out to live their lives in retirement. And that's why you see the negative cash flows there. Again, not unique for DuPage. This is what we see consistently across our book of business. At some point, the tides will change. Everybody, we all get older. We take our money out in retirement. You have to replace the people that are older individuals with newer, younger employees coming in. At some point in the future, we're going to see this shift. Next slide. So from an education perspective, this is kind of a snapshot. My colleague, Kim Brownlee, she's our retirement plan specialist that focuses on the employees here at DuPage. We're here 40 days for 2023. She did over 144, she did 144 consultations with individuals. There was 118 enrollments in 2023. We saw a 17% increase in contributions from 22 to 23. From a financial wellness perspective, our certified financial planners, we did 24 various CFP seminars throughout the year. We do 2 to 3 a month. And these are, I believe, are communicated out to the employee base on various topics. There was one group presentation with 30 individuals that were there. The CFPs did 41 individual consultations with your employee base. And from a rollover perspective or a roll-ins, just shy of $900,000 was rolled in from outside employer plans into the DuPage County plan in 2023. Next slide. Next slide, please. So from a education perspective, we break out each quarter of the year in various themes and different strategies. And from a communication perspective, different media, our website, our app, emails that go out to employees, and you can see the different themes that are there for each of the 4 quarters in 2024. In addition to, I will say, with COVID and the restrictions in place over the last several years, our access to employees was somewhat limited. That has changed, and we're getting out in front of employees today. So that's a good thing. You'll see a lot more traction from Kim out meeting employees, and that's really where the difference is made, is sitting down with the employees face to face, getting them to, if they're not in the plan, enroll. If they are in the plan, helping them understand their investments and make the right decisions around those. Next slide. I mentioned the CFP webinar program. Here's a listing of the dates and the different subject matters for 2024. I know that's hard to read, but this information, again, is supplied on a monthly basis to the county to distribute to the employees for the upcoming month and what topics are being discussed from our certified financial planners. Next slide. Any questions?
Yes. Member Krajewski?
Just wanted to pick up on your question, Chairwoman. Regarding the people leaving, I assume, the biggest thing is the retail investor meeting with the client, telling them, DuPage only has 20 funds and I have the universe to invest in. So why not move your money where I can go to the world?
Right.
where you only have 20 funds, but the thing that they don't drill down into, and you touched on it, or maybe Vince touched on it, was the costs or institutional funds.
Yes.
So that 81.7 million, yeah, I'd like to know what our fees are on those total with the institutional compared to, I assume everyone, the funds or almost everyone has a retail fund that the LPL guy or whoever could sell, which is not the institutional one. So their fee's gonna be a lot higher.
Correct.
So I'd like to know what 81 million on the retail side, similar funds would be, what the fee cost would be there. And I assume you're gonna see a huge number.
Yeah, you would see a huge number and
Which is the education portion that's gonna have to tell the employee, it's like, yeah, you got the universe to invest in, but you can't go to Charles Schwab guy down the street or LPL or Raymond James or whoever.
Right.
And you're gonna buy a same fund, but you're gonna be paying whatever 1 point and you're only paying 1/10 of a point here. That's the differential. It's gonna be why you wanna keep it here.
I couldn't agree more.
But yeah, that's the education portion, because it's easy at the top line for the guy to say, hey, well, I got 3,000 funds to invest in. They only got 20, so I can get you all the best ones.
Right. Well, I will say the lineup is very competitive and very much cost effective. And from an education perspective, that's our challenge, is to talk to the employees and talk about the virtues and why it's important that they think about keeping their money in the plan. In the end,
I think if you let them know the fee costs now while they're still here, it helps them before when they go out, retire, and then somebody's telling them that you can't get the low cost fee fund here on the street.
it is a conversation we have with them all the time when we're meeting with these individuals. But as you know, I'm sure a lot of you have maybe financial advisors you work with on the outside, and you build relationships with these people, and it's a tug of war, right? You retire, they've worked with you for all these years. They would love to manage your money and they do everything they can to get your money. We want to keep the money here in the plan because we think it's more cost efficient for them. And so in the end, it's the individual employee's decision on what they want to do.
And the last question, just for these employees, have you ever seen any of the other municipal ones you do or county ones where they've done any type of small match incentive?
Yes. There are.
I'd be interested in that.
I would say for the 457 plans, there's not a lot of that going on. It's more the minority than the majority in terms of any employer contribution, any type of match. It becomes it's a fiscal
Right, no, I
question.
understand that. I would just like to know the couple that do that, just
Sure.
what they do and what that is. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Kajewski. So I have Member Garcia and then Member Guston. So Member Garcia, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair. And I'm not sure this is a question you can answer, but you did say that 683 are actively contributing right now. I don't know how many employees we have right now that actually could contribute. So I don't know if that's something that our HR department, if someone's here from that, could answer, or I just wanted to know.
Chris is coming up. Hi, Chris.
Good morning. Yes,
Morning.
so there isn't a waiting period. So when regular full-time and part-time employees come on board, that is in the benefit package, and they can start contributing right away to that
And
plan.
what is our total of employees right now at the county?
Countywide, I would say probably a little over 2,000.
Okay, so we've got
100
quite a
total,
few that
but
are not
you
even
include health
contributing them.
department Too, yeah.
Okay, if any of the employees are listening, I'm gonna tell you from experience, get invested in this. I did it through my last job and through the village, and it's one of the best things you can do for your future. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, get invested and do it now. As much as, if you think you don't have anything, just do a little bit, but it does add up after a lot of
Right,
years, so.
yeah, and like Ray said, we do push out things via email, but we also, we just recently talked, when Kim Brownlee was on site last week. We talked about going out to outside buildings such as Woodbridge and Lyle to make sure there's a presence to all our employees, as well as, not all our employees have a lot of email access in work. So we're
Right.
talking about different types of paper media that we can put in place to make sure we're reaching everybody. So we have been
Okay.
thinking and talking about that as well.
Okay, great. I think that the more you can do to get people who know more about this and can get going on this sooner than later, the better. Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you, Member Garcia. Member Guston. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. It's always very informative. There's something called the FERS program through the federal government, Federal Employee Retirement. It's kind of like a 401k system where you can invest in, and they actually do match up to a certain percentage of what the employee puts into the system, which seems to be, I mean, it's obviously a bigger picture and a bigger footprint, but maybe that's something to look into to see if that's something that could be hybrided here or not. I will say most seniors that I talk to are looking for the highest return on their investment to keep their money in and not spend it. Otherwise, they want to spend it. So then you kind of lost them all the way. And then number three is we have a lot of young people coming in who are very computer savvy. And I think they're going to pick it up and know how to sign into their accounts. So we have that benefit going for us with IT here at the county. The more people, the young people you can get engaged in that, the better it's going to be, obviously, but they're going to be a little tapped too for funds. So, you know, depending upon a match program, if that's something that's possible, maybe they'd be more interested in doing so. So
Sure.
thank you so much for your
You're very welcome.
presentation.
Thank you.
As
Yeah, thank you.
far as the match goes, I mean, that's certainly an incentive to get enrollment up. But it becomes a financial decision for the county, right?
Right.
But you see that in the private sector. Most employers have a 401k plan and some type of match minimum. Anything would be, anything you could do from a financial perspective from a match would certainly increase that enrollment. The other thing, unfortunately, there's no consistency from state to state. In the private sector, you can do automatic enrollment into these types of plans from the employee base once they're hired. But 457 plans are from a state to state don't allow auto enrollment. Illinois is one of those states that's in the gray area. So it's something that legal would have to look at if it would be allowed or not allowed. In the state of Michigan, auto enrollment is allowed. And so we have a few public sector clients that take advantage of that. And so when employees are first hired, they're automatically enrolled into the plan at a certain percentage. And if they decide they don't want to be, they can opt out. But that definitely moves the needle as well.
Yeah. Member Krajewski.
On that match, if we did do that, the match, would we then be subjected to the testing for highly compensated?
No, there's no testing because the plan is not subject to ERISA.
Okay.
For the public sector, so there would be no testing.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Member Krajewski. Member Cahill.
Thank you. The talk about the match concerns me because as a public sector, as you stated, the difference between the public and the private is that we offer pensions. We have
Yes.
pensions. So really, we should not be doing a match because that is something that is for the private sector because they do not have pensions.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Member Cahill. Member Rutledge.
Thank you, Chair. So the county board members are not eligible for a pension. I like the match idea. I have my funds with private and that would entice me to bring mine over. So I like that idea. And the ins and outs of the accounting
that would-
world.
That would be a budget discussion going forward in our budget, you know, and I mean, that could have a severe, I mean, the implications of that match could be huge on our budget. I don't know that it would be feasible.
But I think the draw for new hires would be a bonus.
Right. But we have to figure out how do you sustain that? So that's the issue. We're not going to have ARPA funds forever. We're not, you know, so, but good points. But here's something that I wanted to mention. So 17% increase in 2023. Now in 2023, we gave 4% raises with a 2% merit. So I'm wondering if maybe some people chose to take and we did not increase the healthcare that year either. So that was a nice little bonus. And that can be ways that we can also maybe, you know, if we're giving, this year we gave 3%, normally we give 2%. So that 1% increase or that higher percent that we gave over the last over 2023 and that we're going into 2024, that might incentivize people to take some of that and put that into their retirement too. So that's another way, you know, that we can increase participation. Member Krajewski.
Yeah, that's the bigger picture to look at when you look at the whole compensation package. And if you talk about the match, it's not necessarily fiscal. You may just be giving a little less in raise You get the match, which is an incentive, so you get some people take advantage of that. It also helps maybe some of the younger people or people that aren't as educated in that. You're kind of as an employer helping them for their retirement. So as you look at the overall package, what we're gonna charge for health insurance, the employees share, how much you're giving in raises, maybe a match or maybe not. You know, it's all one big picture down the road, not for today, but
Right.
that's why I'd be curious to see that, just that there's a bigger plan when we look at comp for employees.
Right, right. And I think that Jeff, maybe, you know, as we talk about our budget going forward, something we can discuss. I don't know that it would work out fiscally, but you know, we can take a look at it. So any other questions? Okay, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in, good information, so thank you very much. Okay, do we have any old business? Member Dessert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As long as we're talking about employee benefits, a couple of months ago, we were talking about the idea of bringing back job sharing. And I haven't heard anything about it since, but I didn't want that to fall off our radar because that's a discussion that we need to have. Job sharing and job hybrids.
We do have job sharing, actually. Chris, do you want to come up and talk about that? We do have job sharing here. in the
Okay, we
county.
had
Yeah.
job sharing and then I was told
Yeah,
in
yeah.
you
come on
share a
up.
brain.
Yeah, we,
Yeah, thank you.
okay, Chris is back. Yeah, hello.
A policy still on the job sharing. That's something that has kind of been phased out in the past, but there is policies about that. So that is something that there is still a few that have been like a long term and occur. So that is something we can look at since we do have a policy in place as well as a telecommute policy
Yeah,
too. So
can we maybe send that policy to the board members so that they can see it? Because we do have a policy in
I'll send
place
both
for
of
that.
those, 'cause
Yeah,
we do
thank
have
you
like a
so much.
toolkit with the
Yep.
telecommute, because that's really, you know, a very popular one still.
Yeah, because after we talked about that, they did say that we do have that. So any
Okay,
other?
I just wasn't informed.
No,
Thank you.
sorry about that. Yes, and thank you. Good question, Member Dessert. Any other discussion under old business? Oh, geez, come on, you guys. This is why we can't have nice things here. You know? Okay, do we have any new business? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by everyone, second by everyone. All in favor? Okay, opposed?